Hello, dear listeners, and thanks for tuning in to Master English with Tim, the podcast where Tim teaches you English in depth and detail without ever hurrying. I'm Tim, native speaker of English, podcaster, polyglot, world traveler, and writer. In this episode, we are going to return to one of my favorite topics, the NGSL, or New General Service List, which I talked about in episodes 2, 11, 62, 73, and now this week, episode 80. The New General Service List is a list of the 2,800 most used words in English. Each word has a number from 1 to 2,800. A lower number for a word means that the word is used very often. For example, word number 1 is the, word number 2 is be, and word number 3 is and. If we're talking about the words at the end of the list, we have words like insure, which is number 2,798, and ashamed, which is 2,799. So I think you can feel the difference between words like the and ashamed. The ones at the beginning, use them a lot. The ones at the end, still important, but you use them less than the ones at the beginning. So, in this week's lesson, I'm going to talk about word 1001 to word 1005. Now, to put things into perspective, an adult native speaker who has attended university knows typically around 20,000 words. But the important thing to remember here is that just by knowing the 2,800 words of the NGSL well, you will have learned the most of the most important words in English. Learning the last 3,000, from 17,000 to 20,000 or so, will not have nearly the same impact. Another important point is that you need to know more than one meaning for almost all of these words. If you know all 2,800 words of the NGSL, but you know only one meaning for each one, honestly, you don't know those words very well, and you will understand texts and spoken English poorly. If, on the other hand, you know lots of different meanings for each word, you will understand spoken and written English much, much better. And that's what I'm going to help you do today, learn different meanings of these words. Okay, so I said that I was going to talk about words 1001 to 1005 and the different meanings of each of these words. Normally, in my NGSL episodes, I talk about 10 words in an episode, but one of the words here has so many meanings that it makes more sense to do fewer words. Again, don't hurry. That's my motto. So let's do that. Let's get started. Word number 1001 is shoot, S-H-O-O-T. Shoot is usually a verb, and its three forms are shoot, shot, and shot. Actually, I'm not going to focus on this word too much, even though it has lots of meanings, because I'm tired of hearing about it in the news. So I will give you the different meanings, but for a lot of them, I will give you only one example sentence, with explanations though. You need to be careful with this word because the meaning changes in small but important ways depending on the other words in the sentence. So, the first meaning of shoot is to use a weapon, like a gun or a bow and arrow, that makes something fly through the air and hit a target. You shoot something at something. First and only example. He shoots his pistol at paper targets and beer bottles, never at a living thing. So, when you shoot something at a target, it could mean that you succeed and you hit your target, or it could mean that you do not hit your target. When you shoot a pistol or whatever at something, you are trying and maybe succeed, maybe don't succeed. Again, that's shoot something at something. Okay, next meaning. When we say shoot something with something, we get a different meaning. When someone shoots a paper target with a bow and arrow, that means that the person succeeds and hits the target. First and only example. William shot the apple with his bow and arrow. So if William shoots the apple, that means that the arrow touches the apple and maybe goes through it. So shoot at the apple, and it means maybe he touched the target, but maybe not. And shoot the apple means he definitely touched it. Okay, next meaning of shoot. It means to move very quickly, either in a physical or a metaphorical sense. 3 examples. 1. My cat shot across our backyard trying to catch a bird. 2. The temperature shot from -10 to +20 degrees in just a few hours. 3. The price of milk shot from $1 per liter to $2 per liter because of the embargo. Next meaning. Shoot can also be an exclamation. An exclamation is a word or expression that we use to express surprise. For example, "Oh my gosh" is an exclamation. Another common exclamation is "wow." Now, some exclamations are impolite or bad words. So, for example, some people say the F word when something bad happens. Or they say damn or shit. Some people are very polite, though, and don't want to say those words, so instead they say a word that sounds similar to the more powerful, impolite word. One example of this phenomenon is the word shoot, which replaces shit. 3 examples. 1. Shoot, our basketball team lost again. 2. Oh, shoot, I left my lunch at home. Now I'll have to order food. 3. Shoot, we waited too long to buy tickets and now the prices are higher. Okay, that's all the meanings for shoot. But we also have the derivative form shot, and we need to deal with that too. The first meaning of shot is an arrow that flies from a bow or bullet that flies out of a gun, and which might or might not hit its target. If someone says something is a good shot, that means the target was hit. If we say bad shot, it means the target was not hit. First and only example. Wow, that was a great shot. I can't believe you hit the apple from 50 meters away. All right, next meaning. A shot is a person who uses a gun or bow and arrow. If you say someone is a good shot, that means that they usually succeed and hit the target. If you say someone is a bad shot, on the other hand, that means that they usually don't hit the target. One example. 1. My uncle is a great shot with a pistol. In fact, he's such a great shot that he has won a few $1,000s at shooting competitions. Let's move on to the next meaning, which is a try or attempt to do something. 3 examples. 1. Not many people build a successful business on their first shot. 2. Most of the people in my math class failed the test, but fortunately our teacher gave us all a second shot. 3. I'll do better next time, I promise. Just give me one more shot. Another meaning of shot, and a very different one, is a small drink, almost always of something alcoholic, and usually of a very strong drink like whiskey or gin. Just how big is a shot, or how small? Well, if I'm not mistaken, a shot is 50 grams. 3 examples. 1. I'd like a shot of vodka, please. 2. After he drank 4 shots of whiskey, he was completely drunk. 3. I hate drinking shots because I get completely drunk too fast to enjoy the evening. So, a final meaning of shot is very different meaning. Liquid medicine that flows through a long, very thin piece of metal into the body. 3 examples. 1. Winter is coming soon. We should go to the pharmacy and get our COVID shots. 2. When you arrive at the airport in Nepal, they will check to see if you have gotten your hepatitis shots. 3. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I've given many thousands of shots to patients. Okay, so that's all the meanings of shot, too. So there are some other meanings of these two related words, shoot and shot, but they have pretty specialized meanings, so I'm not going to focus on them. So let's move on to the next word, finally, which is 1002, announce. If you announce something, you publicly and officially give information about it to other people. Let's look at the publicly part. That means if you announce something, you say it on the radio, on TV, or on social media. Okay, let's look at the officially part. The officially part means that it's your job or responsibility to give this information. So if the guy sitting next to you on the bus tells you that the bus is going to be late, he isn't announcing it, he's just telling you something. If, however, the bus driver herself tells you, then she has definitely announced it because that's her job. 3 examples of announce. 1. We will announce the names of the lottery winners tomorrow. 2. They just announced that our flight is going to be delayed for another 2 hours. 3. The high school director announced to the students that a new swimming pool would be built in the school next year. Okay, our next word is 1003, unless. This is a word that confuses a lot of people, which is why I talked specifically about unless in depth and detail without hurrying in episode 46, Use and Understand Unless. If you want to really get lots of examples of unless, then listen to that episode. Actually, unless just means if not or only if. Every time you see or hear unless, you can just use if not or only if instead, and you will understand the meaning. 2 examples with if not. 1. If we don't start spending less money, soon we'll be living on the streets. Now the same sentence with unless. Unless we start spending less money, we will soon be living on the streets. 2. If we don't hurry, we won't get to the airport on time. Now the same sentence with unless. Unless we hurry, we won't get to the airport on time. Okay, 2 more examples, this time with the similar meaning of only if. 1. I will listen to you only if you speak to me with some respect. Now the same thing, but with unless. I won't listen to you unless you speak to me with some respect. 2. You can play PlayStation only if you do your homework. Same sentence with unless. You can't play PlayStation unless you do your homework. So again, if you still find unless confusing, then listen to episode 46. It really will help you to solve that problem. Okay, the next word is 1004, independent. If a person or country is independent, it has its own government and makes its own decisions. 3 examples. 1. The United States became an independent country in 1776. 2. I don't want to have a boss and work for someone else. I want to be independent. 3. India and Pakistan used to be one country, but now they are separate and independent from each other. Okay, there's another meaning of independent. So, if 2 things are independent, they do not affect or influence each other. 2 examples. 1. The decisions of the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank are supposed to be independent from politics. 2. She thinks her ideas and opinions are independent because she doesn't watch the same news as most people, but in reality she is dependent, just not on the same people and opinions as everyone else. Okay, now we have our last word for today, which is number 1005, the verb recommend. If you recommend something, you tell someone that it is good or that they should do it. 6 examples. 1. Doctors recommend eating fresh fruits and vegetables several times a day. 2. I recommend visiting Portugal or Georgia if you like wine. 3. Psychologists often recommend exercise as a way to reduce depression and nervousness. 4. Which dish from the menu do you think is best? I recommend the Greek salad. 5. His mom recommended that he cut his hair before going to the job interview. 6th and last, I strongly recommended that she wait before making such an important decision. Okay, that's all for this week. I hope that you found these NGSL words and their many meanings and examples interesting and useful. Thanks a lot for listening, and see you all next Monday.